Hi everyone! In this tutorial I'm going to do a circus themed tumbler. I'll be using a 30-ounce skinny. It's been sanded and spray painted with Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Matte White. This is 1-inch painter's tape, and I'm just going to break little pieces off and stack them up the length of the cup like you would do if you were doing stripes. I'm going to be splitting the cup into 3 sections, and so this is easier for me to visualize rather than using measuring tape, but you can use a measuring tape if that's easier for you. This is just, I can see better how much space I'll have to be working with, so this is just easier for me to do it this way. So I ended up with 10 pieces of tape. So I'm going to have 3 at the bottom and 3 at the top, and then my section will be 4 tape pieces wide, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull off those 4 pieces in the middle. And now I'm stacking up my tape rolls. They come in all different sizes. I love different sizes of tape. And I want to draw a line around the cup so that when I go to tape off that section, I have a straight line to follow. I wasn't getting exactly where I needed to be with a pen or a Sharpie. So right here I am taking one of my replacement blades for my X-Acto knife, and I'm taping it to a popsicle stick and doing it that way, lined up perfectly with that tape that's on the cup. So now I'm going to press the cup against the tip of the X-Acto, the blade, and then spin the cup around. And then I'm going to flip the cup over and do the same for the other side. So now I have my middle section marked off, and now I can tape it off. I think this is 1.5 or 2-inch painter's tape. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter. All you need to do is tape off that middle section. I'm going to cut slits in my tape, and this just makes it more flexible for when I'm wrapping it around the cup. It'll be easier for me to follow that line that I marked off. So everything that's between those 2 lines that I made with the blade, that's what I'm taping off. And then I'm going to go around and cover up those pieces that are still showing through. Now I am back to my 1-inch tape, and I'm making my vertical lines. You could use electrical tape. I guess it just depends on how wide you want your stripes. So I'm going to lay 3 pieces of tape down to start with, and then I'm going to pull the middle piece, and that's what's going to give me my stripe. And I'm just going to keep doing that around the cup. So next to the one I stopped, I'll lay a piece and then another piece and then pull the middle. So this is not a truly straight cup. The top of the cup is just a little bit wider than the bottom. So I do have gaps between my tape, but that's fine. Just try and make it as straight and make it look as even as you can. You can continue your stripes down to the bottom of the cup. That's something that I'm not very good at, getting those stripes to a pinpoint in the center of the bottom of the cup. I'm not very good at that. So I'm just going to trim my tape. I'm using the curve, the rounded curve at the bottom of the cup to guide my X-Acto knife, so I can trim that tape and get a pretty even line around the bottom of my cup. So that bottom is all jacked up, but that's okay. We'll be fixing that here in a second. So as you can see, I've spray painted my cup. I used Rust-Oleum 2X, Apple Red, Satin. And now that it's all dry, you want to make sure it's completely dry. Now I'm going to be adding a very, very thin layer of epoxy so that I can apply my first glitter. And when I say very thin layer, I mean like 1 or 2 mLs of epoxy. It does not take a lot. It's basically just like an adhesive to hold your glitter on. This is a Bumblebird glitter and it's called Some Like It Hot. All of the glitters that I use in this tutorial are Bumblebird glitters. This is a fast setting epoxy that I'm using. It's KSResin Liquidy Split. So I want to immediately remove my tape before the epoxy sets up. So as soon as I get my glitter on, I'm taking my tape off. And I'm fairly new to the Liquidy Split, so I wasn't exactly sure how much working time I had with it. It depends on, you know, the temperature and the humidity and all different kinds of stuff. So I'm still learning this one, but it is a fast set epoxy, so you want to kind of move quickly. So now I'm going to let that set up. And while that's setting up, I'm going to work on my popcorn topper. So I mixed up 15 mLs of epoxy. I added 5 to 10 drops of sunshine yellow, and I put it in a car coaster mold. I sprayed the top of it with alcohol to pop any bubbles. And now I'm just setting some popcorn pieces in there. I got them on Amazon. I will leave a link to them. The car coaster mold and the sunshine yellow alcohol ink are available on my website. So while that's setting up, it's back to the cup. So as you can see, I did retape the middle section. I had to do some touch up. When I pulled my tape up, some of the paint came off. So I put some white acrylic paint in a medicine cup and just went around and touched up those spots with a paintbrush. And then the paint that was left in the cup, I added Mod Podge to. Mix that together, and then that's what I'm going to be applying my next color with. And this color is called Wintery Mix. So I'm just doing one section at a time. And because I did go around and do those touch-ups, and I'm using a background that blends in with the glitter, I only had to do one layer of glitter, which is always a good thing. I did not seal the red glitter before I put my white glitter on, so I did have to go and brush some of the white glitter off. I know some people like to seal each individual glitter, and that's totally fine. I just don't always think about it. So once I got done with applying the glitter with the Mod Podge, I did pull my tape immediately. Again, if any of the Mod Podge is dried onto the tape, when you're pulling it off, you take the risk of pulling up your glitter with it. So you want to pull your tape right after you get done with the Mod Podge. Once the Mod Podge was dry, I did seal it with Krylon Triple Thick. I did one coat, and now I am doing one coat of CC DIY Quick Coat. I'm sealing the white sections first, and then once that's dry, I will come back and do the rest. And that is just to prevent any of my red glitter getting onto my white glitter. I like using the triple thick quick coat combination. The triple thick holds my glitter in place so that I'm not brushing my quick coat over loose glitter, but the triple thick alone does not always stop your glitter from moving. So that's why I like to come in with 2 coats of the quick coat, and then from my experience, 2 coats of quick coat keeps my glitter from moving when I go to put epoxy on. So now I am putting the quick coat over the red sections. Watch out for any drips, just keep an eye on it. Once all that is completely dry, I'm taping off the top and the bottom sections so that I can spray paint the middle. Again, there is only 1 coat of triple thick and 1 coat of CC DIY Quick Coat over the glitter, so I am loosely putting on the painter's tape, and then I am covering the rest with Glad Press and Seal. I'm going to spray paint holding my cup sideways like that, and I'm going to spray paint up and down rather than side to side, and that will just minimize the risk of me getting any spray off from the spray paint onto my glitter, because that tape is on there very loosely. Again, I'm using a very thin amount of epoxy so that I can apply my 3rd glitter color. And this one is called Sea Ray. And I'm going to immediately remove my tape and my press and seal. And then I'm just going to set the cup aside and let the epoxy set up. So I don't show it, but I did seal the middle section with 1 coat of triple thick and 1 coat of quick coat, and now I am doing another coat over the entire cup. So now the tumbler will have 2 coats of quick coat over it. Again, if you let your cup stand vertically after you put your quick coat on, just keep an eye out for any drips. Now I'm going to add some height to my popcorn topper. So I'm just drizzling some epoxy over the bottom piece that has already set up, adding some more popcorn, and then drizzling some more epoxy over that. And now it looks like a mound of popcorn with melted butter. I was really happy with how it came out. Another part that I don't show, I put 25 mLs of epoxy over the cup. It was still a little rough, so I added another 15 mLs of epoxy. Then I sanded and cleaned it with alcohol, and now I'm applying my decals. So a total of 40 mLs of epoxy over the glitter before I could sand. So this vinyl, I'm absolutely in love with this vinyl. I believe it is tech wrap. So it has a clear protective sheet over it, so make sure you remove that before you cut it. I got it from Two Moms Craft Shack, and I will leave a link to their website in the description. I kind of did this backwards and I didn't realize it until after I started. So this part, these little sections, you want to do this after you do this part. You want to lay down your horizontal pieces first and then put your vertical pieces on. If not, if you put those vertical pieces on first and then the horizontal and they overlap, you're going to see the lumps, and then you're going to have to remove the horizontal piece to trim the vertical. So do your horizontal pieces first around the cup and then do your vertical pieces. That way, if you need to trim, it makes it so much easier. And I hope all of that made sense. The decals I got on Etsy, and I will leave links to both of them. The offset I did in Cricut. For this decal here, I used a glossy sticker paper for laser printers. I love working with this paper. I haven't had any issues with it. I will leave a link. I don't know if they make it for inkjet or not, but I will leave a link. I had to stop the tutorial because I forgot to cut this part. So just like with my watermelon tumbler, there were some small bits that were easier to weed once I got them on the cup. So that's what I'm doing now. I really had fun making this cup. This is a cup that I've been wanting to make for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it. It's a pretty simple cup to make. It's just it takes a little time because of the different sections and waiting for everything to dry, but it's a pretty simple cup to make. So after I got everything on there, I thought it was still looking a little plain, so I decided to add some black tape over the gold. So the black that I used there on my horizontal was some black washi tape, and I believe I got it at Hobby Lobby. The tape that I used for the vertical is a black holographic nail tape. And once I got the black on there, I just thought that it finished it off perfectly. I was happy with the cup after that. So there it is with the black added on, and I just think it looks so much better. So if you've seen any of my other tutorials, you know that I signed the bottom of my cups. So that was a black paint pen, and now I'm going to seal the cup with the triple thick. I think I did 2 coats, and that just holds the nail tape down while I put my epoxy on it. So this part of the tutorial is not very descriptive. I messed up more than a few times, and there were a lot of pieces that I had to cut out. So I will do a more informative tutorial on how I did the topper. I do use UV resin and the UV lamp to apply my magnets. But if you don't line those magnets up just right, they will repel each other, and I kept having that issue. So I will do a more informative tutorial on that. So the cup was pretty much done. It just needed the last layer of epoxy. So I did 20 mLs of epoxy to finish it off. And that was it. Like I said, I really had fun making this cup. I love the way the topper came out. So I hope that some of you will try this, or a version of it.